Welcome to Tonikaku Kawaii Chapter 171, brought to you by user/when I'm having this group of friends. Thank you very much. Where is it? Oh, there it is. I got a trash taste mug. It finally came in. It came in yesterday while I was editing the other video. So, that's something. Anyways, that's all I really have to say. Let's just jump right into the chapter. The chapter starts off with Nasa and Shiori talking to each other outside of the tea shop, right? So Shiori is like, all right, so you want to go to the Kyomaru mansion. Good on you. One, don't do it in the winter, all right? Do it early in the morning and stuff, right? Because apparently, you know, in some parts of the seasons, it is basically impossible to find the mansion, all right? And even if you were trying to do it in the winter and you somehow find it, you'd probably have to wait for the snow to melt because, yeah, no, that snow is probably going to kill you, right? And, you know, she's also talking about the fact that, you know, the river that they use to basically get electricity, it's frozen over in winter, right? So, you know, have fun not having electricity, right? And, you know, as a child, she, you know, saw Skasa-chan and stuff, you know, cutting up wood and stuff to, you know, basically use it at a fire, right? So, you know, Shiori, I guess, also talks about, you know, how as a child, she kind of just looked at Skasa-chan like, really? You really just decided to live in this area? Like, winter is barely, like, bearable? Like, what are you doing, woman? Go live in, like, the fucking city or something. So we cut to a place without Shiori or NASA. In fact, it's NASA's high school where he works at, right? So we cut to a place where there's a bunch of high school girls just sitting around, right? When suddenly one of them decides to talk, you know? She's like, Jesus Christ, we haven't done anything for our, you know, our, like, break and stuff. We haven't even gotten in, like, you know, boyfriends and stuff, right? Two of the girls, they're like, relax, it doesn't matter, right? But one of them in particular is like, you know, tells her, hey, like, doesn't matter, we're students, like, the boyfriend shouldn't matter to us, right? The first girl, she's like, okay, Marie Antoinette, shut up and go eat cake, right? Because, she kind of looks like Marie Antoinette. Granted, that's just what the character says. Debatable whether or not. I mean, if we're talking about boathead Marie Antoinette, yeah, no. Maybe when, you know, when her hair wasn't as crazy as that, right? So, you know, this other girl, the fourth girl, I guess, she decides to, you know, chime in. She's like, I mean, I have a boyfriend, right? Everyone looks at her a little weird, like, what do you mean you have a boyfriend, all right? You didn't tell us this, right? You know, the first girl, she's like, are you sure he's your boyfriend? Like, you know, if he doesn't know, does that really count, right? And, you know, they start questioning her even more. Like, I mean, this is an all-girls high school. Like, where are you getting this boyfriend of yours, right? So the fourth girl, she, you know, she tries to defend herself. Like, I mean, hey, you know, people meet each other, right? You know, people meet each other all the time and talk, right? You know, she starts talking about, you know, their favorites after that, you know, a feminine, you know, strong male, right? And then, you know, everyone else in the class, in the classroom, they start realizing who she's talking about. She's talking about NASA. Girl, you are down bad. That fucker is not your boyfriend, all right? You know, it's the whole what zero pussy does to a man. But instead of that, it's what zero dick does to a woman. You start simping for your math teacher, all right? Listen, you are down bad, all right? If you're out here simping for NASA, he's married, okay? You know, you can't be pulling up these games. So after that, with the high school girls, we cut to NASA and Skasa-chan, you know, two familiar faces, all right? So NASA is talking to Skasa-chan about, you know, the whole going to the Kyomaru mansion, right? You know, he's like, are you sure it's gonna be, you know, you know, is it true that, like, there's gonna be no electricity there in the winter, right? And Skasa-chan is like, yeah, no, that's kind of normal, I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? Because, I mean, people have been living like that since the dawn of time, right? But then, you know, Skasa-chan, she's like, I mean, it would be really hard to, you know, have your phone basically die on you in the middle of fucking nowhere, and you can't have a place to charge, right? You know, let's just say Skasa-chan has been, you know, sucked into the world of technology. Good on her, right? So, you know, basically, NASA moves the conversation onto the location, right? You know, he's like, oh, so could we just, like, use Google Maps or something, right? Skasa-chan, she's like, no, not really, because, like, the mansion is covered with a bunch of trees, right? So, you know, NASA gives her the phone, and, you know, he's like, all right, I don't know, figure it out, right? You know, she figures it out, she points it to an area where it's just a bunch of trees and mountains, all right? Thank you, Skasa-chan, for being so helpful. God bless, all right? So, NASA's like, is there at least roads there, you know? And, you know, Skasa-chan, she's like, I mean, you use roads to travel somewhere, yeah, right? And then NASA moves on to Top Gear, alright? Surprisingly, we get a Top Gear reference. So, NASA's been watching a show where, it's a bunch of, it's like 3 British people, just driving cars on cliffs and stuff, right? NASA kind of is getting worried, right? Because, it's in the middle of nowhere. The roads might be crap. Hell, there might be some mountains here and there, right? He's worried that he's going to get the car that he rented because he didn't buy that, remember, scratched or hell, even like damaged to all eternity, right? And that kind of gets Scuzza-chan a little worried. So while NASA and Scuzza-chan are talking about the fact that the car might just get absolutely destroyed, suddenly one of Chitose's mates decides to come along, alright? Her name is Aurora, alright? She's the much more serious one, not the bubbly one, alright? Both of them are great either way. Give her a round of applause. Welcome back. We haven't seen you in God knows how long. Alright, so, she's like, ta-da, I'm here. Have, Shiori's car, right? Apparently it was, set for them just in case they kind of wanted to go somewhere, right? NASA's like, but what about if, like, the car gets, dented or, destroyed, right? Aurora, she's like, oh, it doesn't matter. This car's already been destroyed and dented so many times. At this point, it's a salvaged car, right? But, the car is still good, right? It has some protective measures in it. All of that, right? NASA and Scuzza-chan, they're like, it seems like a good idea, right? And this is also kind of like a thank you gift for NASA, right? Thank you for taking care of Scuzza-chan, right? But Aurora does point out one teeny tiny problem if he were to take the car, right? There might be a chance that Chitose might just want to come along and be like, hey, I'm just gonna go with you guys because fuck you, NASA. I don't want you to do immoral acts to Scuzza-chan while at the mansion, right? So, NASA and Scuzza-chan are like, I don't know if you want to do this or not, but yeah, sure, why not, right? And that's where, it cuts off with them. So we cut to Kaguya talking to one of her friends on top of the high school building, right? The one girl, she's like talking to Kaguya like, hey, we're gonna go on like a trip and we're gonna, record videos and stuff. You wanna come with us, right? You wanna go take memories with us? Kaguya, she looks at her and, she's like, yeah, sure, why not? Whatever. The girl, she's a little surprised, right? Because Kaguya isn't exactly the most talkative of people. She's pretty introverted, alright? And kind of an edgelord, but we don't talk about that part, right? So, she's like, it's a little shocking to, for you to say, yeah, sure, why not, right? Kaguya, she replies, she's like, it's hard to, realize that you're using a fucking website to, plan your vacation, right? Because Kaguya seems to be like that type of person that would just do anything, whatever they want, right? So, but Kaguya, she's like, it doesn't matter if you're using a website or not. All that matters is that we're gonna go and do memories together, right? And, that's basically where the chapter ends off. I really like this chapter, very nice. Granted, it felt a lot more shorter than, other chapters, but hey, there is a chance that we might be going to the Kyomaru mansion in the next chapter. I don't know, though, because I read these while I record these. Anyways, this has been chapter 171. I hope that you enjoyed. I still don't know how to end videos, so yeah. Goodbye.